Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're tackling what is honestly one of the most massive, universally frustrating headaches in modern IT, and that is securing access for external vendors, contractors, and partners. It really doesn't matter if you run a massive global bank or a local regional hospital. You have external users who desperately need access to your internal apps. But the big question is, how do you let them in without basically leaving the front door wide open? Well, today we are breaking down two absolute heavyweights fighting to solve this exact problem: Zscaler and Palo Alto's Prisma Access. Let's just jump right into it.
So think about this for a second. Are the very people you hire to help your business actually your biggest security vulnerability? Now, for decades, organizations just solved the whole third-party access problem by handing out traditional VPNs. But giving a vendor a traditional VPN is literally like hiring a plumber to fix your kitchen sink, and instead of just pointing them to the kitchen, you hand them the master key to your entire house. They can go check the safe, wander the halls. It's a massive security risk. And this right here is exactly why Zero Trust Network Access, or ZTNA, isn't just a marketing buzzword anymore. It is absolutely essential for survival. You can really see the core difference when you put these two approaches side by side. In a traditional VPN environment, the vendor connects, they enter your corporate network first, and then they try to reach the application. That flow is entirely backwards. Think about it. If that vendor's laptop is compromised, the attacker is suddenly sitting comfortably inside your network, just moving laterally. It's exactly how some of the most devastating ransomware attacks in history kicked off. The zero trust concept, though, it completely flips the script. You don't connect to a network at all. You only connect to the specific app you're actually authorized to use. Okay, let's dive right into how Zscaler handles this architecture. Zscaler is what you might call a zero-trust purist. They follow a strictly application-centric model using core components like Zscaler Private Access, their B2B modules, and app connectors. The whole philosophy here is that your application should remain completely invisible to the outside world. There is absolutely zero inbound DMZ exposure. That means no public-facing servers just sitting there waiting to be attacked. Zscaler effectively hides your infrastructure because, well, external vendors can't attack what they can't even see. Walk with me through this precise traffic flow to see how they actually pull off this invisibility trick. First, the vendor user initiates a request. Second, their identity is strictly verified. Third, they hit the Zscaler cloud. Fourth, an inside-out connection is made via an app connector, which finally bridges them to the application in step 5. Now, did you notice what's missing there? There are absolutely no inbound firewall rules. No exposed applications whatsoever. The app connector dials out to the cloud to stitch the whole connection together, which completely eliminates open inbound ports. All right, now let's switch gears and see how Palo Alto's Prisma Access builds an entirely different picture. While Zscaler is purely app-centric, Prisma takes a much broader Secure Access Service Edge, or SASE approach. They're bundling network and security into one massive ecosystem, so depending on your design, Prisma can actually provide both network-level and application-level controls using components like Global Protect and Service Connections. And it's definitely worth noting the Prisma Access browser here too, which gives third-party users secure access without them having to install heavy agents. It's highly flexible, for sure, but it is inherently part of a wider, more traditional security framework.
Okay, let's start a rapid-fire bake-off between the two, starting with implementation complexity, which, let's be honest, is the graveyard of way too many IT projects. If we are strictly talking about time to value for third-party access, Zscaler takes a clear win here. Most organizations can roll out Zscaler's initial deployment in a really breezy 2 to 6 weeks. Prisma Access, on the other hand, well, it often requires a heavier lift. Because it leans so much on global policies and broader routing design, it's just a more complex project right out of the gate.
But the truly crucial point is what happens after you deploy. Let's look at day 2 operational simplicity. Zscaler wins again here, mostly due to its cloud-native nature. There is simply less infrastructure to manage, less routing, and absolutely no complex tunnels to maintain. Prisma Access, meanwhile, gives you incredibly powerful firewall controls and excellent visibility, which is something Palo Alto is legendary for, right? But that inherently means your networking team is going to have a lot more overhead managing those policies day in and day out. Now, when it comes to identity integration, both platforms are phenomenal. They both smoothly shake hands with Microsoft Entra ID and Okta. However, Zscaler edges out a win for external partner onboarding specifically. Zscaler supports native B2B partner federation. And why does that matter? Well, it means your vendors authenticate using their own company's logins, which saves your IT team from the headache of managing external passwords. Plus, keeping apps 100% hidden without any open ports gives Zscaler the ultimate edge in pure application protection. Now, what's really interesting when we break down the executive presale summary scorecard is how perfectly it visualizes these exact trade-offs. Look at VPN replacement. Zscaler hits a perfect 5 stars, with Prisma at 4. For deployment simplicity, Zscaler dominates again with 5 stars compared to Prisma's 3. But here is the critical pivot. Look at the existing Palo Alto customer fit. If you already have a massive Palo Alto footprint, Prisma rockets up to a 5-star rating, while Zscaler drops down to a 3. It really all comes down to what you already have sitting in your IT closet. Shifting gears a bit to the future of ops, automation and AI. Both of these vendors are truly enterprise-grade here. They tie beautifully into automated deployment pipelines, they support infrastructure as code tools like Terraform, and they integrate seamlessly with security monitors like Splunk and Sentinel. Honestly, we'll call automation a tie. However, for AI capabilities, Prisma holds a very slight edge right now. Palo Alto's broader AI-driven threat detection across their entire portfolio gives them just a tiny advantage in current market perception. So, how does all of this play out in the real world? Well, if you're in banking, government, manufacturing, or healthcare, Zscaler is overwhelmingly the recommended choice. These sectors require strict compliance, zero exposed infrastructure, and absolute least privilege access for auditors. But if you're in telecom or aviation, industries that are infamous for sprawling, highly complex multi-vendor networks, either solution actually works brilliantly. In those specific cases, Prisma is highly viable, especially if Palo Alto firewalls are already guarding your perimeter. I really want to pause and let this architectural rule sink in, because this right here is what drives Zscaler's dominance in pure third-party access scenarios. Quote, users never connect to the network, users connect only to authorized applications. That isn't just some clever marketing slogan, it is a profound shift in network physics. By entirely decoupling application access from network access, you are effectively cutting off the oxygen supply to lateral network attacks. Okay, time to deliver the final verdict. It's a classic if this, then that scenario. If you are starting a greenfield transformation project where your primary goal is replacing VPNs and massively reducing your attack surface, Zscaler is the stronger, simpler solution. But if your organization already has massive investments in Palo Alto firewalls, along with management tools like Panorama and Cortex, then choosing Prisma Access is definitely the smartest move for operational alignment and platform consolidation. So I want to leave you with this final critical question. Which architecture actually fits your stack? Are you looking for the cleanest, fastest path to zero-trust vendor access? Or are you looking to maximize a powerful security ecosystem you already own? Take a hard look at your current infrastructure, your team's bandwidth, and your ultimate security goals. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer today. Until next time, stay secure and keep building smart.